Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. We have seen a sharp rebound in the global markets and US markets were up about 1.2 to 1.3% on the back of much better than expected jobless claim data, and the jobless claims fell sharply by 12,000 and now they stand at about 3,34,000, which is the lowest level that we have seen in the last about 5 to 6 years, and that is definitely a big positive for the US economy. And also there was a report from the Wall Street Journal that the adjustment in the bond buying by the Fed does not mean that the stimulus is going to stop till we see stability in the economic data points over the next probably couple of quarters. The stimulus could continue and that also helped the sentiment quite a bit. European markets were mixed. Germany was down about 0.5%, but the rest of the markets were marginally up. And when we look at the Asian markets today, there is a sharp rebound and Japan is up almost about 3%, Hang Seng is up 1%, the rest of the markets like Korea and China, they are also marginally up. And yen continues to trade strongly against the dollar, and now it is at about 94.51 or thereabouts. Euro also is pretty stable at about 1.33 or thereabouts. Talking about the flows, friends, for our own markets, FIs were net sellers in the cash market to the tune of about 568 crore. The domestic institutions, however, were buyers to the tune of 770 odd crore, and in the index futures, the FIs were sellers to the tune of about 484 crore. So we continue to see this trend for the last about 4 to 5 trading sessions that there has been a good amount of selling in the index futures. There has also been a considerable selling in the cash market. However, the domestic institutions which have been sellers for the last almost about 1.5 to 2 years, we've seen some aggressive buying for the past 2 days, which is definitely a bit of a positive. On that note, let me invite Sadhna to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. The Indian markets had fallen down in yesterday's session and deepening their cuts by more than 1%, mainly due to weakness in the global cues. And we have seen from third day in a row, market participants entered in the market on short side as around 14 lakh shares were added in open interest, and Nifty futures premium also decreased from 12 points to 6 points. And put call ratio also decreased from 0.93 to 0.90, which indicates call option has added more number of shares as compared to put option. And in yesterday's session, we have seen that markets fell below 5,700 and somehow it managed to close above 5,700, and we have seen good number of shares added in 5,700 strike. And as US markets closed higher yesterday and Singapore Nifty is also up by 40 points, which indicates we might see some bounce in the market. But overall our setup for the market is negative. Every rise can be taken as an opportunity to go short. And from intraday perspective, one can go long on idea with a stop loss of 133.30. Thank you.
Friends, here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, we would have the WPI inflation data for the month of May, which is likely to be at about 4.87%, which is going to be about 42-month low and 6 weeks of consecutive lower number for the WPI index, which is definitely a big positive for the sentiment. However, because of the much higher and sticky CPI data that we have been witnessing, which is about 9%, and also the fact that the rupee has actually weakened against the dollar in the past 1 week or so, the possibility of the rate cut by RBI may not be that high. So despite this number being positive, we are seeing some weakness in the rate sensitives overall. The Foreign Investment Promotion Board is likely to decide on the Jet Etihad deal, and we have seen some amount of action in the Jet Airways. Yesterday the stock was up about 7 to 8%, and Tata Motors came out with retail sales for the Jaguar and Land Rover for May, which stands at about 32,477 units, a growth of about 12%. However, there are concerns about the kind of growth that they are registering in their Chinese market, so this is something that we'll have to watch out for. We have seen some negative reaction to the Tata Motors stock ahead of these numbers, and Apollo Hospital Group is looking at spending about 2,200 crore on expanding its facilities and would add about 2,700 beds in the next 3 years. Unilever has got an approval from the SEBI for the open offer, which is going to commence from June 21st and will last till July 4th. and the amount that they are looking at raising is about 29,202 crore. However, as per market reports, the actual response to the offer could be much lower than this, and there have been some protests about the Coal India divestment plans that the government is looking at doing, and even though the finance minister had indicated that they are looking at doing it soon, the employees are against this move. So there might be some amount of volatility in the Coal India stock on the back of this. Zydus Pharma, which is a subsidiary of the Cadila Healthcare, has voluntarily recalled one of the tablets because of the oversize. So there could be a bit of a negative reaction to Cadila Healthcare stock in today's market. However, the stock has already reacted in the past 2 or 3 days. So we don't expect too much of a negative reaction on the back of this development. Some positive news for the oil and gas sector, as the gas prices could be hiked next week to about $6.7 per MMBTU from next week, as per indications by the petroleum minister. So this would be a big positive for companies like ONGC and Oil India. So one can go long on ONGC with a stop loss of 303 and a target of about 318 to about 324. And Oil India, which also has corrected quite a bit, one can go long there with a stop loss of 521 and a target of about 548 to about 558. Reliance Communication is looking at selling off its DTH business to Sun TV for a total amount of 2,500 crore. So one can go long on RCom with a stop loss of 104 and a target of about 109 to about 112. Wipro, some negative news, as it has received a fresh tax demand of about 816 crore due to denial of tax deduction, and the company has also done a wage hike of about 8% or thereabouts. So one can go short on Wipro with a stop loss of 347 and a target of about 330 to about 322. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great weekend and see you on Monday morning.